Hello, football fans, and welcome back to another episode of Hurdle the Line. This is the Week 6 review show. And with me, as always, are my compatriots Tom and Ollie. And then, of course, the one, the only, the super producer, Fletch. How are we, gentlemen? Um, Fletch, I think you got something you want to talk to me about, I think you
Yep.
said.
So there was an emergency Cobra meeting held. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's like a meeting of the really high profile people within the UK British government. Um, I was there. I was obviously invited to it at 10 Downing Street. There was a
Sounds
few
very
things
important,
said.
very
It
official.
was. It was very important. To do with our international relations and the Home Office. And yeah, so that we felt like we need to let you know Chapman is the unofficial ambassador from the US to the UK.
I take it very, very seriously, by the way.
It will, like, if the New York Jets ever set foot on UK soil one more time, it will be considered an act of war, right? That is one of the worst things we have ever seen. The nation is rightfully angry
I don't
with
blame you. I don't
this
blame you.
show. And yeah, if they turn up one more time, it's an act of war. All international relations are seized. We'll have, obviously, unfortunately, you'll have to go. We won't have any American citizens here anymore. So just wanted to let you know, keep you aware, on your toes, make sure it doesn't happen again, please. Thank you.
Honestly, I wouldn't blame you. And I don't even think any Jet fans would blame you. In fact,
So
I saw my friend at the Hippo last night. He came over for the game, and he came up and I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. Came up, hugged me, and was like, we're just so bad." I go, "Joe, why did you fly all the way to London and expect something different? That is the definition of crazy, like insanity." Yeah, it wasn't a good game, but I'm sure we'll get into it in a minute. Thank you for that, Fletch, and hopefully, there will not be any acts of war, at least for another year.
yeah, with the
Uh,
Revolutionary War, but reversed.
yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I just say this though? There's something tingly for me every time I get to hear the American national anthem and you listen to the words and you think about what it's about. Woo, and it gets played here. I'm sorry, it's the one time I get real like, yeah.
I didn't catch the anthems at the Jets game, but they butchered the anthems at
Oh
Top.
yeah,
They
they
were
Oh
were
yeah.
really,
terrible, really
really
bad.
bad. And they also went, and now for the anthem of the UK and plays the English national anthem. So little bit salty me as the Welshman there, but it's fine. It's fine.
Um, they had people from the cast of Hamilton do both.
Must have
Interesting
been
choice.
better than whatever
Yeah,
me and
that
Tom
definitely
Interesting
would
saw.
have been better
choice.
than what we experienced. So
Yeah. Well, there you go. How was everybody's weekend? We know Tom and Fletch's team played each other last night. Kind of a Was it an exciting game? I mean, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen any of it.
No, to be honest, you can skip over the whole thing. It's not worth talking about.
Oh,
Treat it as
no,
if it didn't happen.
I
it
think we
was an
should
exciting
only
first half.
I think we should only talk about that because then we haven't got to talk about my team.
Oh, don't
Um,
worry, we won't talk about your team very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we have a little bit of news before we get into the games from this weekend or from yesterday, I guess Sunday. Um, First of all, to no one's surprise, Brian Callahan, after 1.5 seasons, well, one season and 6 games, has been fired uh, as the Tennessee Titans coach. I don't really have a lot to say about it. He was not a good coach.
Yeah, not a
Really
good
bad.
coach,
4-19 records. Just awful. Awful, awful, awful.
and they
And
just
what
continually got worse. It looks like as well. So it wasn't like they were turning the corner or anything. And they played terrible against the Raiders, who aren't great either. So yeah, I think it's fine. They're nail in the coffin, and then next week the Titans play Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. So
yeah.
I
yeah,
guess get it
we'll
out
see
of the
what
way
happens
that
there.
way. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
Um,
a whole mess. I mean, that owner, I have no idea. Like the guy who won the power struggle, the
Mm.
GM he was fired last year at the end of last year, and you got rid of a coach who, was basically your only ticket to legitimacy, at least in the last 10 years. But anyway, you were gonna say something, Fletch?
Yeah, just one little interesting stat out of it. The last four quarterbacks taken number one overall have had their head coach fired in their rookie season.
Wow.
2020, it was no, 2021, it
Trevor
was Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence, Urban Meyer got fired,
Right.
Caleb Williams last year, fired in the rookie season, and
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, that's the one, when Shane Reich got.
I mean, the last three alone, three consecutive
Yeah.
number one picks, all head coaches got fired.
It's crazy.
I mean, we all question they hired him because he was in the same building as Joe Burrow.
Right.
He didn't call plays for Joe Burrow.
And
He
and
didn't,
his dad,
Mm.
yeah,
and
and
he's
his dad, obviously the legacy there
well,
too.
if his dad wants to come home, I don't think he'll do much help, but you know, vibes, I suppose.
Um, I bought a lot of stock last year in Cam Ward watching him play in Miami. I think I even on this, I don't know, pat myself on the back, but I think I even at one time said I think he's the best quarterback in this class. And I hope that they get somebody that can, you know, support him and build, build an offense around him and, be competent. So good luck to the Titans fans. Uh, Tennessee, not a bad state, guys. A lot of Southern states I hate. Tennessee, not one of them. So, but they did steal the team from Houston. So, all
And then
right.
whether, yeah, yeah,
Fred Warner adds to the list of 49ers who are now hurt. I mean, it is just, I mean, they just it's like 2 years of just terrible stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway,
just don't let Ollie
oh god,
pick the team that is gonna potentially do well
if I,
because
yeah, if I pick your
yeah,
team, don't be happy about it. Be terrified about it because they're probably going to lose half of their team to injuries. Ravens and 49ers. I mean, it's almost cursed at this point.
yeah. Fred Warner is a heck of a player, though, and
It
he
looked
broke his
pretty
ankle.
bad.
Broke
Yeah.
his ankle, right, Tom? So he's
yeah,
probably
yeah. He got rolled up on like his foot got trapped underneath, and he was in an air cast, and you just knew when he was getting taken off. It was didn't look great. Obviously confirmed by Carl Shanahan after the game, that it was a season ender. So yeah, their defense is absolutely decimated with him and Nick Bosa out as well. So um, yeah, absolute killer for the 49ers. And as you said, Fred Warner probably best linebacker in the game, and yeah, really unfortunate. And it's the first time he's ever got. I think it's he's only missed one game in his entire career
Yeah.
up to
First
now.
major
So
wow,
injury.
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah. He
First
missed
crazy.
major
one
injury.
game in 2021. But other
Yeah.
than that, this is his first major injury. So
Part of what made him
Well,
so good,
mm.
his
yeah,
availability.
yeah. Well, we wish him a speedy recovery. Hopefully, see him back out there. But I don't wish the 49ers anything well, but I like Fred Warner. And then there was a retirement, right?
Yep. Zadarius Smith,
Zadarius Smith. That's right.
former Cleveland Brown. So shout out to Zadarius. Happy retirement. He was one of the Eagles' best pass rushers this year.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
arguably their best pass rusher on the edge, and he just retired. So I don't think Eagles fans are very happy about this.
No.
They're
He
probably
Also,
played
not
for
very
you.
happy about a lot of things though right now.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I will just say, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to give him much credit right now. But Andrew Berry in the last year has traded two players for third or fourth round picks. Was it a fourth or a fifth, Fletch?
it might have been a conditional fourth that could have been a third. I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
exactly off the
But
top of my
either
head.
way, mid-round picks for two players that have both retired. Amari
Wow.
Cooper and Zadarius Smith, both retired. Wow. We're getting old, guys.
Yeah. As Ollie said, from a Brown, but also went from the Browns to the Lions quickly, as many people on this pod will know, quickly fell in love with him in Detroit.
Yeah, great guy.
If you listened in the off season, you would have heard my heartfelt plea for Brad Holmes to bring him back. So just lovely guy, really nice guy, very talented player, and just wish him the very, very best in his retirement.
He did. He almost did the NFC North, like
Yeah, he did.
all the
And almost,
teams. Like he
yeah,
did the Packers, the Vikings, the
Vikings and
Lions. He didn't
Lions.
play for the Bears. That's the only one he didn't
He
play for. But
Got a Super Bowl last year.
did he play for the Ravens?
He did. He got
yeah, he
drafted by the
did. He was
Ravens.
So
drafted by the
he did half
Ravens.
the
Yeah, he
AFC
was a
North as
fourth
well.
round pick for the Ravens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He loves the North.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
fun,
likes playing outdoors in the cold.
Yep.
But
You
he's
gotta
from
respect it in today's day and age.
yeah. He second team All Pro, three-time Pro Bowler. All right, there you
So,
go.
so
Nice.
just to clarify for Ollie, Detroit sent a 2025 fifth and 2026 sixth rounder to Cleveland in
Yeah.
exchange for Smith and a 2026 seventh round pick.
Nice. And now he's retired. Crazy.
Now he's retired.
Mad.
All right. That's enough of the news, unless anybody has anything else.
No.
Nope. All right. Let's get into week 6. I thought the most impressive win yesterday was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the 49ers 30-19. Granted, Fred Warner, one of their best defensive players, out, and they have a slew of injuries. But dadgum, it was really fun watching Baker Mayfield, who has no wide receivers right now, with Evans and Godwin both out. And then they lost a boot. Say it for me, Tom.
Ibuka.
Ibuka. Sorry, I have to hear it one
Emeka
time.
Ibuka.
Emeka
It's not
Ibuka.
Egg Big Boo as
Egg Big
Gordon
Yeah.
tried to say.
Ibuka in the game yesterday to a hamstring. Um, did you guys get a chance to watch this game? Tell me what you thought about it.
Yeah, as you said, Baker Mayfield willed his team to the win in this game because it wasn't like the 49ers played bad. They had a couple of bad turnovers. Kind of Mac Jones, kind of the ceiling that he has was kind of proven in this game. That being said, he still threw the ball around pretty well. But Baker Mayfield, I mean, the play that exemplified it, it's 20-19, 3rd and 14, and he's just got that dog in him. Like he just ran over like two people,
Yeah.
extended for the first down, and it was just like all Baker Mayfield. Like there was nothing else in it. Like it was just like the heart and the grit and the doggedness of him on that play. He had a beautiful touchdown where actually he overthrew the receiver to Tez Johnson.
That's a great
Great
catch, great
catch,
touchdown.
great catch, especially ground surviving the ground as well to maintain control of the ball. So for a former Oregon Duck, Tez Johnson with a touchdown there, but he was throwing the ball to Tez Johnson and Cameron Johnson. Like as he said, Ibuka was out, Mike Evans was out, Chris Godwin was out, Bucky Irvin was out, so he had
Yeah.
Rashad White the majority of the work. But yeah, really impressive win for the Bucks here. And I think they were down to the third right guard as well. So
Mm.
they seem to be getting like decimated by a few injuries, but they're still overcoming it. And it's the reason why he's the MVP frontrunner right now.
Did you
And
uh did you
rightfully
hear
so.
did you hear Tez Johnson say about when he caught the touchdown and
With the MVP chance.
he heard MVP chants and he said to one of his teammates, like, I've not really done much this year. I don't think I deserve MVP chants. And they were like, no, they're not chanting MVP for you, bro. Um, can we just take a minute to appreciate how funny and also impressive it is that Baker Mayfield went from someone that we used to laugh at anytime he used to try and use his legs. I mean,
Mm.
when he used to try and use his legs in Cleveland, it would get posted all over Twitter, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, because he would look so funny trying to run. He was that bad. And now all of a sudden he turned into like a mini Josh Allen that just
Mm.
can't be brought down, which is just funny to see. And obviously credit to him for doing it. And all credit to Baker. I'm not a salty Browns fan, like there are a lot of Browns fans with Baker Mayfield both ways, either salty about him or salty about the team. Um, was never going to work for him here. Happy that he obviously found a home in Tampa Bay and happy that he continues to ball out.
Yeah, and look, there's no love lost for me in Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I have to say I really enjoyed watching that game. I got home from the Hippo and watched the second half, and like that play with him, you can't. He's just one of those people that like you just want to root for him. You know what I mean? And it's like again, I hate Tampa Bay, but like I just really like watching him. If you love football, it's really fun. And Ibuka, like he's been phenomenal. Like, and I hope I hope the hamstring doesn't keep him um out too much because he's having an all-time rookie season, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
unfortunately, it
definitely.
seems like it will definitely be at least for the next few weeks minimum. It
uh,
does seem to be quite a
I,
nasty one. So hopefully
I'm
he's
sure
back on
I'm
for it.
sure he'll make it right back for that last home Atlanta
Yeah,
Falcons game just to smoke us for another 2 touchdowns.
but I mean,
Which I
how
yeah.
many times do I say it? Draft Ohio State wide receivers. Carnell Tate is going to get boosted in this draft purely just of what the Ohio State wide. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba, I'm sure we'll get into that game as well. I mean, these Buckeyes, man, if they play wide receiver, draft them.
And just quickly, a couple of things on the 49ers. despite losing, Christian McCaffrey became the first running back with at least 100 yards from scrimmage in each of his team's first 6 games, and he's the first guy to do that since Saquon Barkley did it back in 2018. He also has got 50 yards passing or receiving, excuse me, as well. Looking a little bit like himself, but I just don't, Mac Jones played all right,
Yeah, I
and
mean
Brock Purdy.
he Christian McCaffrey as well. I mean he's such a do-it-all back. I mean I think he's eighth at the moment in receiving yards,
Wow.
just because he's such a dual threat. But he scored his first rushing touchdown of the season, and his yards per carry has not been great, but
Right.
they use him in so many different ways that he's still so valuable to them. And he's the one linchpin thing that they've got left on the offense that they can rely on at the moment. So,
Well, you say that, but I was going to say I want to give one shout out to Kendrick Bourne, who has
true.
been balling out in
Mm.
some of those abs. And I don't know if you see, I mean, he has been dealing with. I mean, he's got broken ribs, he's got a sprained ankle,
Oh
and
no,
he's
you're talking about Jawan Jennings.
John
oh,
and
is it
Jennings,
Jawan Jennings
yeah.
that's
Juwan
injured?
Jennings
Yeah,
is the
John
one that's got
Jennings.
broken
Yeah.
Yeah,
ribs
well,
and
yeah.
high
Even
and low
still, yeah.
ankle spraying,
Jawan
which is
Jennings with
pretty
the broken
insane.
ribs and the sprained ankle, him balling, and then yeah. So credit to him, but then also
Mm.
yeah, Kendrick Bourne balling out in obviously the other guy's absence as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to both of those guys, stepping up, but obviously in this game couldn't do enough to win it. But I think yeah, they're going to just I mean, there's just too many injuries. There's only so many injuries you can take, and you could argue maybe on the other side, Tampa Bay. You're feeling good now as a Tampa Bay fan at 5-1, but you're of course thinking, well, half the offense is now injured. Hopefully, they
Yeah.
don't linger throughout the year and come back to maybe bite you later on in the season.
Mm.
But the defense is healthy, and that's the
Yep,
quiet part of this team. Baker is obviously the sizzle, but the stake of this team is
yep.
is that defense that Todd Bowles has. And you know what? It's interesting. Todd Bowles got, and we'll move on after this point, but Todd Bowles, as a head coach, obviously failed in New York, which everybody does. So I don't hold that against him. But um, he's quietly a very, very good coach and has
Mm.
also replenished his offensive coordinator now 3 years in a row, and also just kept this defense, which is the heart and soul, I think, really of this team. And I think the offensive identity will probably continue to grow and get bigger once some of these players get back healthy. But anyway, I think Todd Bowles deserves a little bit more credit as a really good coach because they've been one of the best teams over the last 5 years. And I think he deserves a little more credit
Yeah, I
for
mean, I agree. And funny enough, this is the first game where the Bucks could actually take a knee at the end of the game this
yeah. Hmm.
season.
That's fair.
Having, all them been
Have been those close games.
walk
Yep.
off, field goals so far. So nice for
Yeah.
them to get a comfortable win for once.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys before we talk about this next game, which will lead us into that. Can you name how many, or guess how many undrafted players have amassed 200 yards from scrimmage in consecutive games since the merger in 1970 of the AFL and the NFL?
I'm going to guess zero.
You're wrong.
I'm gonna guess.
Damn it! I could have sworn the stat read that he was the
I'm gonna
first one
guess
to do it.
one.
It is one, Ollie. It's Rico Dowd
Yep.
from yesterday for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers go in and shock the world, winning 30 to 27 against the Dallas Cowboys at home in Carolina. This is a Rico Dowdle game. He has announced himself now, 2 weeks, 200 plus yards. This guy is a beast. I think Chuba Hubbard can go ahead and just, put himself on ice for the rest of the year because this guy is going to be starting every week unless it's just a total flash in the pan. But anyway, this was a really fun game. Again, and I was watching everything at one time, so it was sort of hard. But every time I looked over, it felt like somebody was scoring in this game. Someone was making a big play. Doubt these Carolina, and look, this makes I like to say it because obviously they spanked the Falcons, but they're not a pushover. This isn't a pushover team, and every week Bryce Young, though it kind of is ugly at the start of these games, he's looking like he's putting something together again. And obviously with a really heavy run game and a good defense, well, a decent defense, I guess I should say, because Dak is definitely should be in that MVP conversation right now as well. But anyway, this is a really fun game, and we saw a lot of scores, and ultimately Carolina wins. What do you guys think?
Ollie, do you want to go first?
I'm just happy for Bryce Young, to be honest. A lot of quarterbacks get abandoned early on. We don't really give quarterbacks a lot of time in the modern NFL, and it was looking like his career was already going to quickly, fizzle out. But as you said, he struggled early on. But I don't know if you've seen the stats of if you just take the stats of when the Panthers were trailing in this game, he was 10 for 10,
Mm.
I think 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, perfect. So in the moments he needed to step up and needed to be big in this game, he came through and he was massive in this game. So I'm just really happy for Bryce Young. Great to see a short king out there balling out,
Mm.
and as obviously a team with a short king ourselves at quarterback. And as you said, obviously at the start, Rico Dowd, he obviously deserves. Cool story. I think Carolina Panthers fan would just be wishing he was 22, not 27, because it does feel like it is a slight, it feels a little bit like a flash in the pan, as you said, a bit of a Peyton Hillis a few years back for the Browns. That one kind of great season bursting up. But let's hope for Panthers' sake that he can keep it up this, throughout the
But
season.
but he did have 1,100 yards for Dallas last year,
Very
and they were a
true. Very
they were
true.
a terrible running team,
Very true.
which is not very which is not characteristic of the Cowboys traditionally, obviously. Um,
Well, he told the Cowboys as well before this game. He told them to buckle up, and then and then after the game, one of the first said in the presser was, well, they didn't buckle up. So, and he was right. He ran all over them. He was also used in the passing game as well. He had a receiving touchdown, I believe.
He
Uh,
led the team in receiving yards.
yeah, I mean he led the league in receiving yards and rushing yards at 239 total yards, which is really really impressive. As you said, over 200 scrimmage yards in back-to-back weeks. But yeah, as Ollie said, I was impressed with Bryce Young, especially as this game went along. I think he's got 8 fourth quarter comebacks now or something like that. I've read, which is really impressive. But then also on the other side for the Cowboys, obviously it's a really good back and forth game. George Pickens was
oh yeah.
all over it in this game. He hurdled the dude. He was just explosive. He had a
Shout
hundred.
out to my buddy Ryan who wouldn't let me put the over on George Pickens in our parlay, which lost, by the way.
Yeah, he had over 160 odd yards and a touchdown. And in CD Lamb's absence, he's played really, really well. Proven that he's a premier player. And some of those attitude issues that he's had, he seems to have put those aside so far anyway, and had a really, really good season for the Cowboys so far. So
You
yeah,
know why?
really good
You know
back and
what?
forth game.
You know why, Tom?
Why?
It's called contract year. And it's a difference between making
True.
10 million a
He's already
year and
he's
making
already leading
25
the
to 30.
league in touchdown, or he's tied with Amon-Ra St. Brown with 6 touchdowns,
There you go.
receiving touchdowns so far this year. So definitely a good time to have a very productive year in the contract year. So
Yeah.
I think I
And
think
and
I was gonna say I think Steelers fans after watching their wide receiver core on Sunday are probably looking at that going, why on earth did we trade this guy?
mm, yeah.
but I would say the Steelers have a good track record of getting rid of a player
I was
right before
I
they
was
can
just
bust.
about to
So
say I think George Pickens might be the first guy to break the
break that.
Steelers trade a player and he not just turns bad, Chapman. They don't Steelers players don't just perform bad when they get traded away from Steelers. They
They
start
absolutely,
walking out of games and turning into Le'Veon Bell. So we
yeah.
all know how that goes.
McMillan, the rookie for the Panthers, also caught his first touchdown this year, and
Caught
he's looked
two.
really good. Oh, he caught
Yep.
two. Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
he
He gets
caught,
first,
caught two
two. Yeah,
touchdowns. Yeah, yeah.
not a big stat day for him, but
No, 29 yards.
that was good. Yeah, I mean, and to your point about Bryce, he spread it around a good bit. I think if I'm counting here, he hit about 8 different receivers yesterday. Um, uh, and I think the combination between having a really good running back and solid wide receiver play, they got a little something going on there in Carolina. So
Yeah,
Dallas is
and now they're 3-0 at home as well. So
right.
they've, made
They
Carolina a tough place to go so far this season anyway.
they also are 500 for the first time in over 1,000 days.
Wow.
So shout out to
Congrats.
Carolina Panthers fans that have been digging deep, holding on. That Panthers podcast that did that. Was it a Panthers podcast that came out and said that they quit because they couldn't deal with the
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Wait, what
those,
happened?
so there was this Panthers podcast that had been going on for like 9 years, this fan podcast, and they posted a statement on there for, they weren't a big podcast, but like a
Yeah,
massive
yeah,
podcast by any means, but their statement went viral, got like millions of views on Twitter, because they basically did a thing saying like, look, at what point does it become like we're giving up hours of our week to do this and we're getting nothing in return from the team? As you can imagine, over on the Cleveland sports side, we had a good laugh
yeah.
at it. Many of us that have been going for a while, we a lot of the words soft got thrown around. But at the end of
Oh,
the day,
wow.
I completely understand where they're coming from. As someone that covers the Cleveland Browns, I know how hard it can get. But obviously they're probably going to be quite annoyed now because just as they've cancelled the podcast is the first time the Panthers have started winning in 1,000 games, 1,000 days.
See, and that's like me with fantasy. Like when I cut Sam Laporta 2 weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he woke up and started scoring points again. So, which I'd never done before. Anyway, that's besides the point. It's not about me, guys. I mean, kind of, but it's not about
Kind
me.
of is.
Should we roll over to Seattle, Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Tom, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. It was a very good, like, kind of back and forth game. I mean, the Seahawks kind of dominated the majority of this game, really.
Score was 2012 Seahawks, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah. And it was another game where the Seahawks won on the road. They're now 10-1 with Mike McDaniel
Yeah, that's
as the head
crazy.
coach on the road, which is insane. And I think they're only 4-8 at Lumen Field, which if you told someone 10 years ago that, then they would have, that would not have been a thing.
The 12th man isn't happy about that.
Yeah, exactly. But they were another kind of efficient performance from the Seahawks. They weren't able to really run the ball, but they were able to establish. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba in this game was just continued his great rise. He had 8 receptions, 162 yards and a touchdown. Really nice throw on the touchdown from Sam Darnold as well. In quite a quiet game for him, but he didn't turn the ball over. It was the first time this season that the Jags didn't get a turnover on defense. And the Seattle pass rush got to Trevor Lawrence multiple times. I think they hit him 18 times. They got 8 sacks, 7 or 8 sacks on him as well. And that passing game that the Jags kind of established in the game against the Chiefs late on, just didn't quite come to the fore with Brian Thomas, having another drop as well, and Trevor Lawrence not able to kind of guide them back. But yeah, really impressive win on the road for the Seahawks, with Jackson Smith and Jigba starring.
He was great. And also was the other name that I said we should put him in our parlay. And I got so by the way, guess who gets
I got
to
him in
pick the
fantasy, so I'm very happy right now.
yeah, well, I also am playing him, of course, in fantasy. Um the watching this game, the Jags remind me, at least this season, remind me a lot of my team over the last 3 years, which is, hey, we're gonna have a really great game against a really good team, and then we're just gonna shit the bed the next week no matter who we play because we just cannot be, excuse my language again, consistent. And I just can't trust the Jags no matter who they beat, really, honestly. Like even after last week beating, obviously a last minute win beating your team, Tom, but they just look completely again, I don't know if it's I don't know what I don't even think it's coaching. It's just this team, man. They just
I know it's the sort of thing where they could have established themselves even more into, and as a contender with a win here against Seattle, a good Seattle
a
team.
good Seattle
Um,
team. I mean,
like
not taking nothing away from
no,
Seattle
But
on that.
not taking
also,
anything away from the
Seattle weren't
Seahawks.
missing their entire secondary in this game as well.
Hmm?
I said I was pretty sure that Seattle had a lot of injuries in their secondary for this game as well. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were not at full strength by any means,
No,
the
no, they
Seahawks.
were quite banged up for this game, as you said there. So it was a great opportunity for the Jags to continue winning their winning
Yeah.
ways. And as you said, they just laid an egg at home. So, but impressive win from the Seahawks on the road for sure.
Yeah, they literally had none of their three top corners in this game. No Devin Witherspoon, no Tyreek Woolen, and can't remember the other guy's name, but he wasn't in this game either. So if you can't get Travis Hunter going against that secondary, then at what point do we say stop playing receiver and just go play cornerback at full time?
Well, one of the plays of the game as well, which could have kind of changed the momentum of this
His
one,
catch
was
was that last week.
a touchdown from Brian Thomas Jr. that got called back because Travis Hunter was offsides on the play.
Oh, I did not see
So
that.
he was kind of a detriment to his
Yeah,
team
I
in
Oh,
saw
that
that.
feed
Yeah.
sense.
feed me that. This game is just ultimate hate watch for me.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, but weirdly enough, just to give you a little Travis Hunter uh tidbit stat, he's the first player in 29 years to catch at least four passes and then record multiple tackles on defense since Deion Sanders did
But
it
but
30
what
years ago.
what is like my what is that
I
like
know, I know, I know, no,
when
no.
you
I'm just
when you're
saying it's
finishing each
interesting.
game with three catches for 18 yards and two solo tackles? It's like, what is that actually doing?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, just that when you got to think they traded a lot to get this guy. Like, that was a quarterback package trade.
Hmm.
And I just don't think that he's impacting the game enough to justify not only the second overall pick, but the trade as well. Maybe I'm saying that because I'm obviously, as I said, on Hate Watch, but I'm just happy the Jags lost.
Yeah, you need him to keep
Yeah, because
losing.
you want that pick so bad.
It's a first round pick. To be honest, I don't care where it ends up, but the higher it is, the better. The better.
I mean, I'd make a comment about you in first round picks, but I'm not going to. But I will say this: the Jags gave up. They committed 10 penalties, and Trevor Lawrence was sacked 7 times. So
Yeah,
that's a pretty sloppy game.
Yeah.
definitely.
Pretty sloppy game. Seattle, though, they look like they're going to be a real tough out come January. I think
Definitely.
if they keep playing like they are. Sorry, I just did that thing where I logged out of the thing with all the scores, and I have to log back in. There we are. Then the third game that I was excited about was Colts Cardinals.
Mm.
After an embarrassing loss last week, Arizona had everybody had them dead and buried after losing to the Titans in like the worst fashion. And they came out and they played one of the best teams, quote unquote, at least record wise in football in Indianapolis. And they gave them all they could handle. I mean, they still come up short. It's a 27-31 game, but with a backup quarterback, Jake Brisket.
Jacoby Brissett, love him.
Joey Brissett, who is another guy I like rooting for, just a
Oh,
work man, just a lunch pail
bro,
backup
I love
quarterback
I
guy.
love this guy from his time in the Browns. I love this man.
What team has he not played for? That's what I
Oh
want
God.
to find out. I'm
And
surprised he
every
He's
has
played for like 8 different teams or
and
eight
all their
teams.
fan bases love him. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
genuinely, I mean, obviously we had him as our, for when we traded for Watson. Watson got
Mm,
suspended. A lot
mm.
of Browns fans felt a little bit dirty, supporting the Browns that year. Jacoby Brissett came in and just made it fun to root for the Browns. And his last game for the Browns was beating Tom Brady, so with a
Mm.
last second touchdown. So love it. Love me some
And I
Jacoby.
think he played for because obviously he was playing for the Cardinals in this one, but I think he played for the Colts for like 4 years as
he
well.
did. He played for the
Yeah,
Colts
yeah, yeah,
after leaving New England, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I was
So
I was doing
he's just a
videos
likable dude. Yeah.
talking
yeah,
about bringing him back to the Browns this offseason.
Mm,
So
yeah. Um, but anyway, it was a really fun game. This was on like the kind of smaller TV at the Hippo on the right side, if I remember. If you need that kind of specificity, which you don't. But they pull it out. Marvin Harrison gets hurt in this game.
mm.
Marvin Harrison Jr., excuse me. And but I'm trying to find any like fun. There's no fun tidbits I have from this game. Jonathan Taylor, 123 yards, touchdown, looked great.
running away with
Daniel,
the Russian title,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, he
running
is.
away with it, literally
And
running away.
anybody could have had him
I was
uh
going to give a
in the
shout out
first round.
To Tyler Warren because he is absolutely dominating right now out of Penn State. And they're using him in loads of different ways, but he caught another touchdown in this game. He's just been an absolute beast. He's, in there with, rookie of the year kind of contention with the way that he's playing. So yeah, I was going to shout out him.
Yeah, the
And then
Bears might
with
still
the
be a winner for that one.
Cardinals, I feel like it's do they really need to bring back Kyler Murray? If Jacoby Brissett, like he played pretty well in this game, in all fairness. that they were a couple plays away from snatching the win. They actually had a fourth quarter lead in this game, and then the Colts
They
had to
did.
come back and they got the touchdown, and that was all she wrote. The controversial thing at the end of this game, depending on which side you were on, was that the Cardinals had the ball with the goal to go, um, threw it to Trey McBride, who was collided with, and no pass interference was called. So if you're a Colts fan, you're like, that was all right, cool. If you're a Cardinals fan, you're probably screaming for a flag. But that was just kind of the decider in the game. A really exciting game as well, and the Cardinals definitely bounced back from that pretty humiliating loss last week. But they have lost 4 in a row now, so not
I,
looking
I
too good.
I will say there's about 250 million reasons why Kyler Murray will be coming back, regardless of
Oh
how
yeah, no,
well
I
he
know, I
percent.
know, I know. But I'm just saying, from a performance standpoint, anyway.
Yeah. Brissett also hits 10 different receivers in this game. Pretty interesting. Also,
Oh man,
can we just say that the Cardinals are obviously down Connor, right? He's out for
James
the
Conner, yeah.
so, yeah, James Conner. Bam Knight coming
Mm.
in and scoring a touchdown. When that name flashed up on, I was like, that's a hell of an NFL name right there.
That
Bam
that is
Knight.
that is definitely not a real person.
Oh, he is.
That is a
He,
created
he
player on Madden.
he's played yeah, he played for a few. I think he played for I'm sure he played for the Raiders. I remember seeing him on the Raiders
Really?
depth chart at
Oh,
one
that
point.
makes
Yeah,
sense. I don't think I've
but
watched 5 minutes of
Bam
a
Knight
Raiders game
is
in
a
my life.
great name and definitely does not seem like a real name. But fair play
It,
to him for
mate,
getting
I
getting
just
a
love it. I
touchdown.
love
And as
America,
you
man.
said, Ollie, as well, Jonathan Taylor, in early in this game, he wasn't as effective, but as the game went on, he's one of those backs that when he gets more carries, he just seems to do better anyway. And he had the decisive run that kind of ended it when they needed a first down, ran for 13 yards or so as well, over 100 yards in this game. And he's definitely running away with the Russian title right now.
Yeah. Guys, there's only one other game that I was like, oh, was an entertaining game. The rest were sort of
Yeah.
that's Chargers Dolphins.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say Brown Steelers.
No, it wasn't. No. Uh, um, the Dolphins almost come back and win this game.
Mm.
Tua throws an interception the very last play of the game to seal it for the Chargers, and then goes out and throws kind of his coach under the bus afterwards, which was
The
Mm.
whole
quite
team under
interesting.
the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Charger. This is like normally a game I think the Chargers lose, but they don't.
Yeah.
They win this game. It was a pretty, you know, back and forth game, a good bit, but yeah, Chargers now 4-2. They beat the 1-5
I had a
Dolphins.
very close eye on this game because obviously I was hate watching to see if the Chargers would lose.
Right.
But it feels like the Dolphins kind of sold this game though. They had the lead. They looked like they were about to sack Justin Herbert and maybe actually win this game. But Justin Herbert 6'6", like he's so tough to get down. He then throws the ball to Lav McConkey, who then, manages to evade a tackler and run for 20 odd yards, something like that, that sets them up for the game winning field goal. So that was kind of the play of the game for the Chargers. But considering they've got so many pieces out, I think Quentin Johnson didn't play in this game either. But Kamani
He
Vidal,
did not.
their running back, with the absence of Amarian Hampton, he had over 100 yards, so he made a real impact in this game. And Darren Waller caught his fourth touchdown since signing with the Dolphins.
Bro, I didn't even know he was back in the NFL. Like,
What?
I saw the thing on Twitter and I was like, did I miss that? Like,
Mm,
Yes.
I didn't even know he was back. I must have been off of the of that week when I don't know if you guys talked about it on HDL, but I must have completely missed that. I was like, am I reading a tweet from 2020? What on
mm.
earth is
He
going
gave
on?
up his look. He did his
Did the
therapy
rap career not
based
work?
on put his rap career on side. Came back. He's caught 4 touchdowns in three
Yeah.
games. Ollie, how did you? He caught 2 touchdowns the first game. It was
On,
everywhere.
mate, I must. Was it last week he touched? I must have been.
It was 2 weeks ago.
I have no idea how I missed it. I honestly, you'd imagine my
Ollie,
shock when I saw
we know how you missed it.
maybe, but I'm not gonna give it away. But my shock generally, I'm not even joking. I was like, have I gone back in time? Like, what is going on right now? But I
I
am
mean,
pleased.
that's a beauty of the NFL. I
Yep,
love it when people come back.
pleased to know he's back, and I'm quite surprised the rap career didn't work out, to be honest.
You had some cool videos if you want to.
The,
Uh,
the Dolphins probably have the worst defense in the league, if we're being honest.
Mm.
Like it is bad. I mean, they just gave up 124 yards to no offense, Kamani Vidal.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
did you see the Lad McConkey play though
yeah, oh
to
yeah, the
kind of
Lad
Yeah.
seal the
McConkey play
game? Man,
was
that
yeah
play was
awesome. But
unbelievable.
even that play, like bring the guy down, man. I know it's Justin Herbert, but like just don't let him
Mm.
complete the pass.
Yeah,
I know
but
Jalen
even
Phillips was all over him as well, but he just somehow I was watching it like, yeah, he's got him down. No, no, he didn't get him
I'm
down.
I'm not I'm not even joking when I say I think Keelan Allen played better defense in this game than
hmm,
any of the Dolphins players if you saw his pass breakup on
Yeah,
what could have been an interception for Justin Herbert.
yeah, yeah, and Tua Tagovailoa had what 2 picks in this game.
Free.
yeah.
Well, he had
Well, I
three.
mean, the last one's a Hail Mary pick,
Yeah,
which he ran
the
to do
first one
something
actually
weird.
wasn't his fault either. It was a beautifully thrown ball, and then it bobbles off the receiver's hand straight to the Chargers defender. The second one is definitely on him, because it was just pretty bad. Uh, and there's not really much more to say about this game. Devon A. Chan got a touchdown. That was nice.
Yeah,
He,
well, he ran for 100 and a
he
buck 28 looks
yeah,
like.
he's
Yeah,
like the
in the
only
career.
exciting
Yeah.
thing to watch on this Miami team. We mentioned it earlier, Tua throwing some people under the bus, talking about people being late for meetings and all of this stuff. All I'm going to say is my team plays this team next week. If we lose, um, fire everyone.
Okay, that's fair enough.
This is a bad team, like a
Oh yeah.
bad team.
It's a bad team.
I mean, he called out the leadership. He called out people not, going to the player only meetings,
Yeah,
being late, all this sort of
but
stuff.
let's be honest.
He just like he just did not mince
How
his
many
words.
player only meetings have they had through the
Yeah,
first 6 weeks? You had one after the first week. I mean, having one in the first 6 weeks is worrying, let alone knowing that they're having multiple player only meetings. It
yeah.
is a mess
It
in
looks like
Miami.
Mike McDaniel's. It's only a matter of time. It looks like.
You
But
say that, but Ian Rappaport came out today and he was pretty bullish that the owners, you know, is not considering sacking him right now. So we'll obviously
fair
have to wait
play.
He's
and see. But
not.
how many times have we heard that? So
Mm.
Uh, McDaniel says to pick the wrong forum for his comments. Probably correct.
I also
probably.
loved the.
That's
I love any post game comments from Jim Harbaugh because you know it's going to be something interesting. And he was talking about the final play, and he said, "I'm going to be remembered this play until they throw soil over me or something."
dirt. Yeah,
Start
Yeah.
over me.
we don't say soil in America. We'd say dirt.
There you go, dirt. But yeah, that I was just like typical Jim Harbaugh
Which
saying
is a
something
pretty
like that.
pretty odd way to get cremated, but
Yeah.
Sorry, we do say the word soil. It is in our lexicon, but we would
yeah,
say you throw dirt on me. Sorry,
yeah, you would only use soil in like farming terms, I'm
yes,
assuming.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I definitely know Harbaugh is not using the word soil.
yeah, yeah.
It's
That's my
They put
Britishism,
they
my
put the
yeah.
bad.
No.
soil.
I'm like this is part of the program. We're learning
So
together.
what, so what they did is they got the topsoil out first.
Topsoil. That is a common phrase.
Yeah,
Okay. Shall we? Fletch.
is it-
Oh, there he
there
is.
he is.
Oh, camera's back on. Why
It's
don't we talk
nice knowing
about?
that he's sat there like Big Brother, just
Yeah.
always watching,
Oh,
Well,
always
he's watching.
watching.
There we go. Great
well,
mind.
we've been blessed this year. We've already had some teams play each other in this our little group. Actually, is that true? No, it's actually not true. But they did last night for Sunday Night Football, where Tom's Chiefs came back. Well, they didn't come back, but dominated the Lions, should we say, 30 to 17, 18, 30 to 18? Maybe not
37.
dominated.
13, 17.
13 to 70. Sorry, guys, I didn't get a chance to look at this one yet. But why don't we hear from the winner first, and then we can hear from
No,
Fletch's
I think
Lions.
Fletch should go first. I'll go
Okay,
second.
Fletch, you go first. Tell us about this game, Fletch.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the cap off of the worst sporting weekend I've had in a while. It was not good. The I don't want to dwell too much on it. I'm sure that Tom will have a thesis written about where this went right for the Chiefs. A lot of places you could talk about. The Chiefs bested us in well, two of the three phases of the game. It was very much even on. I can't say you battered us on special teams. I can't. I'm not going to give you that one, Tom. I'm sorry, but offense, Chiefs offense was all over the defense. Really nice to see. We were constantly getting pressures on the D line, but as is Mahomes, hey, get pressure on him all you want. You've got to finish the sacks against him, and it's a lot easier said than done. Hutch had hold of him about. I'm pretty sure Hutch had hold of him. Still probably got hold of him today, but couldn't bring him down. The ability to extend these plays, the ability to keep them going, meant that he was finding guys 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 yards down the field who were completely on their own. I mean, the amount of times Travis Kelce could have had a cup of tea and a biscuit, a coffee morning, listened to his fiance's new album, and then been tackled was quite atrocious. Missing a couple of key pieces on a couple of pieces on defense, but nothing that would excuse such behaviors in the defense. Then on as far as our offense went, you had drives. Look, the first drive was surgical. It was really really well put together. It was everything you kind of want. And then you'd have drives where it was just impossible to get anything going. The Chiefs D line often provided a lot of frustration to our O line, getting to Goff a lot, and forcing some mistakes. The Luckily those mistakes, none of them turned into turnovers, but a lot of them turned into short drives, three and outs. Um, and it wasn't until what the touchdown by Laporta at the end, excellent touchdown by the way, like to get both feet in was just a little bit too little, too late. Um, and yeah, that's about it from my point of view. Chiefs offense was much better than our defense. Chiefs defense was better than our offense for the pretty much all game.
Well, that leads me to go back to Tom. Tom, what I do know, even though I have not been able to watch this game or see a lot of highlights, but what I have heard is this was a vintage Mahomes game, and Andy Reid made some changes to the play calling and a little bit of the offense, which really made a difference. So tell
Yeah,
me about
yeah.
how.
There was a lot of kind of RPOs, a lot of him kind of rolling out and having the time to roll out as well. But I
Must
was
be
going to
nice.
say initially for because I was definitely scared going into this game. You know, this Lions offense has put up nearly 35 points a game so far this season. So really, really dominant. And the opening drive was 9.5 minutes to get down into the red zone. They look like they're going in for a would-be touchdown, obviously with the ruling being that he didn't he snapped the ball, but he wasn't set. So, you know, the touchdown got ruled out, which was a shame because it was a really nice play, really nice design as well. But then after that, the Chiefs kind of got into a bit of a rhythm. As you said, kind of vintage Mahomes game. He had three touchdowns passing, one rushing as well. Um, and it was just kind of different guys stepping up. Obviously, Travis Kelce had his most yardage so far this season, six receptions for 78 yards, two touchdowns for Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster making plays. And what I was really impressed with, because funny enough, the Lions led at halftime in this game. It was it was a much closer game than a 13-point game. It was kind of down to the fourth downs that the Chiefs and the Lions both attempted. There was a couple that the Lions had fourth down, and you know the Chiefs managed to get pressure. And you know they get the ball with a short field, and we're able to kind of catch on that. But it was a really close game, especially running the ball. the Lions ran the ball really well, especially with Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. But Aaron Ross St. Brown had a kind of quiet night, and the Chiefs defense stepped up in the second half, especially stopping the run a little bit as well. Leo Chenal, wanted to shout out him. He made some really, really big plays in this game. And the Chiefs D line managed to get pressure on Jared Goff as well. But there was a stat I had as well that it was the first game since 1972 where there was no turnovers from either team, and only one punt throughout the entire game. So it was a really kind of clean game. It was just the case that the Chiefs made slightly more plays than the Lions. And just in the back half of this game, the defense adjusted, with the Chiefs outscoring the Lions 24-7 in the second half. So they played really, really well in the second half, and really, really encouraged with the performance, especially with Rashee Rice coming back next week. But the Lions put up a great fight, and the Chiefs just were able to come out with it in the end.
I told Fletch this before everybody got on and before we started that I think this is just a matter
And
of
also, Fletch doesn't give the Lions enough credit in the terms of like the players they were missing. Like there's six DBs out. Your six starting DBs are out, injured. Obviously, the two safeties as well. Kirby Joseph was kind of in and out of this game as well. So yeah, it was the Lions were shorthanded on defense, and the Chiefs took advantage.
I mean, I don't think it was quite six starters. We had most of the main starters in there. You had I don't know, Amit Robertson, who, by the way, I think on the first touchdown got cooked. Was meant to jam at the line, completely whiffed on the jam. It was pathetic. Like completely whiffed on it. But I think we had more than enough talent on the field to have been able to do better. Um, I think, like I say, there was tackling was horrendous. There were
Yeah, the
multiple. I
tackling
mean,
was
to be
bad.
fair, there were opportunities like the amount of shooting ourselves in the foot. You should be bringing guys down, and instead, Travis Kelce's breaking tackles. Hollywood Brown broke a few tackles. Juju Smith-Schuster was breaking tackle. Like the tackling was horrific as well. And that was on the plays that they weren't in 4 or 5 yards of just pure space.
as I was saying, I think this is more reflective of the Chiefs needed this game more than the Lions. It's a out of conference game. I think obviously it's nice to see Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomesy things again, and that offense starting to gel. But also, I don't take anything negative for the Lions as I think you were pointing out, Tom. So
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think it
uh,
was a kind of toss-up game, and the Chiefs managed to come out on top, but the Lions did they're still just as good as they were. It's just the Chiefs defense managed to stop them. I'd just give one more shout out as well to left tackle Jalen Moore. The Chiefs gave him a 2-year, $30 million contract. And Josh Simmons was out of this game for personal reasons. I hope everything's okay with him. But Jalen Moore stepped up. Other than one sack towards the end, he played really, really well in this game, and proved that the money that they paid for him, they justified it. So yeah, shout out to him as well.
and we go to from one of the best performances of the weekend on Sunday to one of the worst performances of the weekend, which is Justin Fields. 45 passing yards for the Jets in a game, an entire NFL game.
-10 net passing yards.
Yeah.
9 completions and 9 sacks.
Yeah. That's 9 sacks, guys. The Broncos win this game 13-11, but honestly, this should have ended in a tie and they should have both gone home with their tails between their legs because this is one of the worst football
I
games,
feel
if
like
not the
this
worst of
game
the
should
year.
have ended in a loss for both teams. Like they should get an L
Yeah.
for both of
Yeah.
them, honestly, because this was just atrocious. I had this on my phone because I was going to get it on the TV, and then I was just realized how bad it was. So I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. But
And look, I'm sure the NFL wants to export at least an average product here. And the Dublin game was a pretty decent game. Last week was fine. But this was just bad. This was just a bad game. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I feel bad for, I mean, like at a certain point, like I don't like New York sports teams just because I grew up in an era in the 90s where New York was the most obnoxious and they got all the press. But man, at a certain point, you feel really bad uh, for Jets fans just because there's no hope. It just feels like there's no hope.
I mean, Aaron Glenn didn't really help himself as well.
They're not.
It's one
Right,
of the worst coaching
that was
performances I've
one
seen.
of the. I was watching that at the end of the first half,
First half,
Both,
yeah.
and
both.
even Kurt Warner in the booth was like, "What is going on?" Like he was speechless because they pick up the first down with a fake punt, and
And then
then they just let the clock run out for
run.
after. Like, what is going on?
Rich,
Like they don't call
Rich
a time.
Eisen
They
had a
just
good had a good quote on it on the broadcast. He said, "I don't think any of the British fans know what's going on right now, and neither do any of the American commentators. This is not a normal thing. You guys, you're not alone in being surprised." But at the end of the game as well, his kicker had just literally in this game made a 58-yard field goal, right? Made it easily.
Mm.
It went through with with room to spare. 62-yard field goal to win the game, or 4th and 8 with your quarterback that's completed 9 passes and has been sacked 9 times, and you decide to go 4th and 8.
Yeah.
Genuinely one of the worst coaching performances I've seen in recent memory. It is laughable how it was that bad. It's one of those performances where you're like, leave the guy in London. It was
Well,
that.
Mm.
Dan Hansis was saying that, like, basically, the fan base is against him, the media in New York is against him already, and then, the last thing you want to do is get your players against you, and when you pull crap like that, that's what happens. And honestly, like, I liked when they hired Aaron Glenn, and I know Fletch, I'm sure you appreciated his time in Detroit, but it just made not everybody's a head coach, man. It's a really tough
Mm.
job, and I don't know.
Good,
Yeah,
good
well,
coordinators don't make good head coaches, and good head coaches don't make good coordinators.
I mean, look, there was a lot of frustrations at Aaron Glenn's time in Detroit, particularly when it came to the defense. But one thing we all said in Detroit was the man's built to be a head coach. The players want to play for him. He does all the Dan Campbell things of like just how he gets players to rally behind him and want to play for him. And I thought out of the two coordinators, the one who would genuinely go on to be a better head coach would have been Aaron Glenn. It just seems like he was made for the role, but clearly not. And you go first drive of the game. The Broncos have 3 plays, 10 yards. The Jets force their first turnover of the entire year. They get the first takeaway of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
They go down. Okay, look, it wasn't exactly a world class um, drive. They're opening one to get the field goal, but you thought, okay, look, the Jet. It's going to be an interesting game, but what happened after that? And yeah, the I had flashbacks when that thing happened at the end of the end of the first half to last year on Thanksgiving when, with a timeout left,
Mm.
the Matt Eberflus elected not to
With the
take such a
Bears, yeah.
timeout and let the clock run down, and just the
Hmm.
weirdness and the chaos, and everyone sat there going, what on earth is going on here? And it very much similar to that, and Garrett Wilson getting really wound up with Aaron Glenn coming off the field.
He was shouting at him.
Um, like you say, the once you lose, it's one thing to lose players. I think from a I don't know, like a man to man kind of thing. I think sometimes that can be repaired, but if they genuinely don't think you have the coaching acumen or
Yeah,
the
you're
or
gone.
that's it, that's done, and that's going to take a long because they won't respect any decision you make going forward. And look, they come back out, start the second half, they go, what is it, 10 plays, 37 yards. They looked a bit more like a bit more fun. Look, maybe they figured a couple of things out, but that it was horrific. It was how you coach scared at that point in the game. So scared was quite shocking, and I feel sorry for a lot of the people, the amount of money people paid to go and watch that,
Yeah.
and the travel across the country to go and watch that.
Bad game. All right.
All the other
Packers.
games are bad.
Yeah, so we'll just hit these really quick. The Patriots beat the Saints 25-19.
Drake
Drake
May.
May,
Drake May was
go
phenomenal
ahead.
in this
Go
game.
ahead,
Fletch,
Joe.
my man. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say Drake May was phenomenal in this game. He threw a beautiful touchdown to Keyshawn Booty, who is just has a great name as well. Great to hear on the broadcast. And the Saints kind of hung around in this game somewhat, but that was only because of some. This was one of the worst officiated games I think I've ever seen in my life. Um, it was just so bad. I think the Patriots had about 100 yards knocked off by penalties, bogus penalties, might I add as well. There was one that with Stephon Diggs, he had a beautiful catch and then he got flagged for like a phantom flag, basically. So, but the Patriots keep on rolling, and Drake May, great performance from him.
Is Trevion Henderson alive? Like,
I don't know.
do they plan of using him this year or just a thought? I say that he actually got 10 carries in this game, but only had about 20 yards. So
Yeah.
Drake May, man, just
Yeah, Drake.
it's so annoying. You know, we get the Browns get the second overall pick the year after Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb fucking Williams. Sorry, I'm annoyed. And also, can we? I know you're going to like this chat, but I just want to run a little rant right now. But
Yeah, yeah.
they they are bad for like 3 years. Like they are good for 100 years. What it felt like. They're bad for like 3 years, and then they just fall flat overhead into Drake May, and oh look, now we're good again for the next decade. It
Mm.
is sickening. Truly is sickening
Right,
for a fan from a team like me, Fletch, and Chapman.
right.
And if your Falcons win tonight, Chapman, then the Patriots will actually be number
Well,
one in the AFC East. So
Yep.
that's pretty
let's
crazy to
we're
think.
gonna save we'll talk about that game in just a minute. I appreciate it, Tom. I would just like to also point out the fact about the bad three. They were bad for 4 years. Well, no, they did go to the playoffs that first year with Mac Jones, right?
Yeah.
Uh the Falcons got so much shit for not hiring Bill Belichick because the reason they said they didn't hire him was because he was wanting to get rid of everybody in there and bring
We
all his. They said you can come in, be the coach, that's what we want, but you're not running the
yeah,
organization.
yeah.
And he wanted to run the organization, and
We
Arthur Blank
agreed with
was,
you. Me and Tom
and
agreed with you, yeah.
Ca-
now
ca-
look at it.
do you want to ask UNC how that's working out for him?
Oh, mate, laughable. He's
I
actually completely. This is. I did. We should probably say that. You know, you should chat about this on the college pod. I'm sure you have. But oh
Yeah,
my god, he has tainted that legacy a little
I
bit.
I don't like judging people, and look, I've worked for very rich, very famous people before, and like I it's a different world. It just is. But there's just something about a 70-year-old man dating a 24-year-old that I'm out
Bro,
like
and
immediately. I'm just
even
out.
did you hear like she said in an interview like and she's talking about like yeah when we met this and you're like what when you were 19 like what it's just weird and as you said I'm not to judge people but it as you said it's not just that the fact that
It's
he's
all
going
the
it's everything around it and like all it's
yeah.
just yeah as you said it's a
I
shame
just
because he's one of the best coach, if not the
oh
best
yeah.
coach history. And
Yeah.
everyone is always going to, anytime you bring him up, they're going to just talk about this last few year weird like frat boy
We'll
stint he's
forget
gone
about
on
it,
as a
but
70
it's
year
just
old man.
it is very weird. The other thing is like, so I love listening to Mike Lombardi's podcast when he was on the Ringer and then when he did his own thing. And the reason why I liked him is because I like listening. I think there's so much groupthink in the NFL media. The bigger the NFL Network channel, the ES like because it's now just consolidated anyway. And Lombardi, he won Super Bowls as a GM and as a like a whatever. He worked for Bill Walsh, he worked for Bill Belichick. He knows a lot about football, even though he's an old blowhard. But I liked hearing his opinion on things. But anyway, he gave the Falcons so much shit for that, and then he went and joined Bill Belichick there, and they've built a mess there. I just think it's quite funny. So anyway,
It's
he was a
also
very
like he's so bitter about the Patriots as well that he literally won't have anything about the Patriots in like
Yeah,
UNC and all this stuff. It's
to be
yeah.
just
fair,
yeah,
Kraft has been
it's
a
just
dick
kind
to
of
him.
sad to see, really.
Yeah, it
I
is
feel
sad.
sorry for the players, to be honest.
Yeah.
I I noticed this weekend that UNC's account was obviously doing some look how good Drake May is and all the comments on it. Oh, we're allowed to talk about him now, are we? Right. But no, yeah, it's just crazy
It's a
how
mess.
that's all
Yeah.
unfolded. And I have friends in UNC whom I speak to on a regular occasion. Hence why I was so high on Drake May, because I watched so much of him. And oh, I think there's a lot of people that like just how much of a mess it's put the rest of the university in as well. Like it's very, very chaotic, crazy situation.
In other news, the Browns lost to the Steelers 9-23, increasing
What?
their loss in
Water's
Pittsburgh to
wet.
23 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah. Anything you want to say about this game?
Burn it all. Burn it all down. Um, just awful. Awful, awful, awful. And the thing is, I just don't know what you do at this point. I was watching some of the film earlier, and 25 of Dylan's 52 dropbacks, by the way, for a rookie quarterback in his second game, low. 25 of those 52 dropbacks were pressures, and 20 of those 25 pressures came in less than 2.5 seconds. The Browns have literal turnstiles at tackle. Jack Conklin out again. I just don't know what you're supposed to do. Any quarterback back there is going to fail. It's going to be really hard to get any kind of evaluation on both of these rookies this year, because it is just a mess around them. I don't really know what else to say.
The Aaron Rodgers Steelers weird
They're not even
marriage.
good, Matt. Honestly,
They're
they're
not
not
good,
even
but
good.
they're 4-1,
It's
and you know
just
that
so
they're going to make the
annoying.
playoffs. They're going to make the
Of
playoffs.
course, they're going to stumble into the AFC North title
Yeah, yeah.
because the Ravens are 1-5, the Browns are 1-5, the Bengals have got no quarterback. I mean, it is just every year.
Mm.
I hate them. I hate them so much.
Aaron Rodgers throws for 235, couple of touchdowns.
He
He's
he
fine.
runs what they do well. No one
Exactly.
gets the ball out quicker. It works.
Yeah.
And DK Metcalf's been a good signing for the Steelers as well. For him, for in all fairness, to
That that reminds me of something very funny, which I forgot to mention in the Jacksonville game. Um, First game for Jacksonville, Greg Newsome, obviously after the trade this
Mm.
past week. I don't know, did we do an episode since that trade? I can't remember. Anyone that is not aware, the Cleveland Browns traded cornerback Greg Newsome to Jacksonville. You would
That's
think
right.
for picks, because they're tanking and punting on the season. No, they took Tyson Campbell back, which definitely took me by surprise. Greg Newsome first play, pretty much, well, not first play, but that first series, Tom, you mentioned the play earlier on with
Mm.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
Greg Newsome was the corner on that play.
he got
Uh,
cooked.
that
Yeah.
was our Super Bowl on Sunday, was watching Greg Newsome get cooked. We're all there going, yeah, we've won the trade. We've won the trade. About 5 minutes later, DK Metcalf beats Tyson Campbell over the top for a touchdown. But I will just say, he played on Monday with Jacksonville. So, short week, has just been playing to Cleveland, practice once, and we didn't do it. We put a lot on his plate. He basically
Mm.
was left on an island with DK Metcalf. And other than that touchdown, go watch the reps he had on DK Metcalf. Tyson Campbell, I was impressed. Other than the touchdown.
And that was corner talk with Ollie.
Yep.
I do want to say we technically did, but it wasn't a review show. It was the preview show that we
Yeah.
spoke about it. To which I don't know if you listened, but you got one hell of a shout out on Thursday, because we figured out that like everyone, well, I say everyone kind of has a bit of a catchphrase to do with this. Last year it was Greg Newsome in a sixth.
Yeah.
Greg Newsome in a sixth, and then a trade was made where
And what did
was
we
Greg
get? What did
Newsome
we
in a
give up?
sixth.
We actually gave up the sixth.
Greg Newsome and a sixth round pick, and that we were just we spoke about the trade,
That's
but then
brilliant.
spent the majority of the time on talking about the trade, just talking about how that was all you would say
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year, and it ended up coming to
yeah,
light. Um, so if you could just manifest like a lottery win
yeah.
or a big bet win now, just keep saying it, and then next year it will happen.
I mean, I was saying Greg Newsome in a sit for like a pick. I am generally shocked they got Tyson Campbell back. I generally, yeah, very surprised by that.
That was way more time on that game than I thought we would spend. Uh, the Packers beat the Joe Flacco led Cincinnati Bengals 27 to 18.
You mean they
Uh,
eked out a win? Like they played down to their opponent, and the Packers didn't look great in this game. Matthew Golden looked good for the Packers. Josh Jacobs looked good for the Packers, but
Love made some plays at the end of this game and
yeah,
to sail it away. I think they were I mean, it was fine. I mean, you're not going to beat everybody by like four touchdowns. Like, so
yeah, I know. But a team like the Bengals, who have been absolutely destroyed the last few weeks, to only just
because
about
they've
beat
been
them.
starting, what's his
I,
name? I
I
mean,
I don't I will give the Packers credit, and I think this was just one of those like they lost to Joe Flacco with the Browns.
Mm,
yeah,
I went into this game going they're going to lose. Of course they are. That's just one of those
yeah.
weird NFL things that the first player to play this team, in the same season, within the same couple of weeks for a different team. So I kind of agree with Chapman, but don't get me wrong, there are
I'm not giving
concerns
them
about.
flowers for it, but
yeah,
I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
it wasn't like a, oh, like,
Guys, they
yeah.
lost. They lost to the Cleveland Browns this year. There is obviously concerns about the Packers.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was just gonna say as well that the second half, the Bengals were much better in the second half. Obviously, I know Joe Flacco only had 45 yards at the half, but in the second half, he just was throwing the ball up to Jamar Chase, who made a beautiful touchdown catch as well with one hand. He just seems to be able to continue to do that. So fair play to the Bengals for bouncing back in the second half.
Yeah.
It
I
did.
will.
It last thing on the bench. I just want to say it did kind of feel like it was taken in the mick though when the Browns haven't scored more than 17 points all season, and Joe Flacco decides to get 18 points in his first game for the Bengals. Cheers, Joe.
I don't want to give too much credit to the Bengals, by the way. I'm just saying that the week before against us, like they looked stronger than you thought they ever would do. And I don't know if that's a
Mm.
coaching thing. I don't know if that's a what. The
It's not a coaching thing.
the Bengals,
I would die on that hill.
like they're playing some good football. And
Yeah,
again
yeah.
on defense, they're playing some tough football. The results obviously aren't going to go their way. They just won't. But like credit to the Packers because the Bengals are not going to be a pushover in these games. It's just not going to happen.
I
Yeah.
just hope they win enough games to keep Zach Taylor and play themselves out of a top 10 pitch. So Joe Flacco, I'm rooting for you, bro.
Raiders beat the Titans to get their coach fired 20 to 10. And
Yeah, terrible
that's it.
game.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That is it. Geno Smith.
Tom,
Okay,
no.
fine, fine, fine. I wanted to make a Geno
No.
Smith joke,
We're
but no.
not talking about these two teams. It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Text me the Geno Smith joke
These
if you
are
want.
I love that
fine. Do you,
you talked about this game before the Ravens Rams game. That surely that was better than
we
this.
have a
No,
fucking Browns fan on the daggum podcast,
that
Tom.
wasn't. That game wasn't better than this as well. That game was just as bad.
It was awful. It
But
was awful
both these
football.
games were horrific. I was just the
No.
only
I
thing I
wasn't
wanted.
saying about the Browns. I was saying about the Raiders game.
Yeah, no,
You
Tom.
said that one before
The
this
Ravens
one.
one was
Oh,
just as bad as this one.
I did forget sorry, Rams. That
It
game
was.
should have been bad. The
Oh
Rams
no,
should have won this
that was
game.
bad anyway.
No,
That
no,
was
no.
bad
Yeah,
anyway. Yeah.
there is one more game. The Rams beat the Ravens
Yeah.
17 to 3, and they should have beaten that team by 30 points, and they
Yeah.
did
Mm.
not. I have no idea what everybody played. This is like oh, we just got a report card last week and we did
Yeah.
great. And then this week is like, that's not a great analogy. What is it? Everyone got paid last week. They spent
Mm.
all their money, and then this week they're like, shit, we gotta eat. ramen
I was
noodles
gonna,
for two
I was gonna
weeks.
say just the one thing out of this game because it's not a game worth talking about. But Puka Nacua did get injured in this game.
He did.
And obviously he's been the leading receiver in the NFL. He had a nasty injury. He went to the locker room.
He
He
got
came back.
up and then he fell down, which is always the worst one. When they're
Yeah,
like, "I'm gonna walk
exactly.
off," and then he fell back
100%. He
down.
came
It's
back on.
terrible.
He did continue to play, but it looks like he is a doubt for the game in London next
Yeah,
week. So that was
Oh, that
what to point
sucks.
but
out.
they have a bye after that, and it does seem like
It is. It does suck
it
though
shouldn't
because
be long
obviously loads of
term.
people would have wanted to see him
Yeah,
play for the Rams next week, but we'll have
yeah.
to wait and see.
Well, I want
Mm.
for Sam. I want him to be able to see Puka Nakua in person. Like for Ollie, you want to see Miles Garrett in person, the best players for your team. Sam will be at the game of the week. I want him to be able to see Puka Nakua, so hopefully he can play.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably end up grabbing a ticket Friday or Saturday and
Might end
going
up being the
because
best game of the series.
yeah, I think so. I just kind of want to go. So all right. There's two Monday night games because the NFL is so wise and they decided, but this is the last time it actually will happen, guys, because the NFL is doing away with the two Monday night games. Thank goodness, because it made no sense. It never has. As we know, my Falcons are hosting the arguably one of the top three best teams in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills, coming down to Atlanta to play tonight. And then the Washington Commanders are hosting the Chicago Bears in a East meets North um, matchup. Um, what do we think about these games, guys? You got any thoughts? I think it's a little weird for my team because basically the vibe around the Falcons is like, please don't embarrass us and please have an honorable loss. That's really it. Because I don't think we're in anywhere near the class of the Bills. But saying that, we took your team to the mat last year, Tom, that went to the Super Bowl, and then the next after the week we beat the Eagles. We played both those teams back to Super Bowl teams, and so like this team does have the talent to hang, but I just don't think I don't know. If this game was 5 weeks from now, I would maybe feel a little more. And they had a winning record, whatever. But I don't know. Does anybody have any feel for either one of these games?
Yeah, I think if the Falcons are to beat the Bills, they're going to have to use the same formula as what the Patriots did in terms of being able to run the ball as well.
Yeah,
Obviously, you haven't Bijan, but the Bills are always susceptible in the running game. Their rush defense is always just really shaky. And if the Falcons could take advantage of that, then they'll find themselves in a very close game, I think. Um,
it's the one thing that we do very, very well,
yeah.
and we have. So
And then what's the other game?
it's Bears at the Commanders.
I
Oh
think that's
well,
going to be the same story.
yeah.
I mean, the Bears' run defense has not been great. They've got the worst run defense on EPA outside of tackles. What does the Commanders love to do? They love to run outside of the tackles. They do it better than any other team in the NFL. So expect to see what's his name, the rookie they got.
Ja'Cory Krosky
Yeah,
Merritt. Bill Krosky
Merritt.
Merritt.
if you've got him in fantasy, start him tonight. If that's how that works, I don't really know. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
And speaking of fantasy,
Speaking
Well,
of fantasy,
I was going to say
Speaking of fantasy,
just before we do, the Bills. This will hopefully give you a bit more confidence tonight, Chapman. I brought it up last week, and to update the Bills season, the 4-1, the four teams. No wait, yeah, the 4-1, the four teams they have built now have have a combined record of 3-21. The only team that they've lost to is the only team that had has 2 wins on or had 2 wins before they played. Now they have, then they had three. So the Falcons have 2 wins. By the looks of things, that's the Bills' kryptonite, a team that has more than one win to their name. Um, so I don't know. I mean, the Bills are yet to truly excite and I think get going to what the Bills should be. They played really, really sloppy football last week. Slightly extended week with the Monday night game, but the Falcons have had a bye week. You've got a lot of time to prepare for this one, and the Bills, like I say, they're vulnerable at the moment. You could take this. I don't see any reason why the
I
Falcons
think we're
wouldn't.
gonna get a very angry Buffalo Bills team coming in after a loss last week. Josh Allen to me is the best no disrespect, Patrick Mahomes is the best football player probably in the NFL right now, or at least one of the two, reigning MVP. And this Falcons team has to do everything right to win. And I believe Michael Penix can keep them in this game. I want to see a little bit. I think, well, I think you're right. Bijan is the key. And if I was betting on Fantasy Game Day app, I would take some sort of something with Bijan if you can, because they're our official sponsor. And if you're going to be doing some fantasy bets, you should be doing it on Game Day app because they support our team. I'll let Fletch fill us in a minute. But anyway, but I do think we got to see more play action from Penix. We've got to see him open up. Daryl Mooney's not going to be playing this game, so it's going to be the London Pitts combo with probably some Bijan out of the backfield there.
Is
So
it in Atlanta?
it is in Atlanta. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and Jaden Daniels is playing after he came back last week,
Yeah.
but yeah, he is
Harry
playing this
McLaurin's
week.
still out, but yeah, Jaden Daniels is
Did
playing. So
did Daniels and Caleb Williams play last year too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because one
Yeah,
and
that
two,
was
right?
yeah,
the
that
game
was
that
That was the
did,
the
Hail
Hail
Mary game.
Mary,
that
Hail Mary.
That
derailed the
was the Hail
Bears
Mary
yeah, that
game.
derailed
Oh,
the
that's
whole
right.
Bears season. Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
catapulted the Commanders season.
I
Commanders to the NFC, yeah, championship.
well, I think these games might be really interesting. I think these could be some interesting, hopefully, in the week. Um, Fletch, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, so I'm glad Ollie's gone off screen because he like his life choices don't help me right now. So that there's a reason for this. Chapman, Tom, I don't know about you guys. But on a Sunday, particularly, but over the footballing weekend, I like to have a little bit of a flutter. I put a couple of quid down on a betting platform. It kind of it enhances my Sunday experience. It gives me things to look out for and things to keep an eye on. I don't know about you guys if you like to do the same.
Of course.
Gonna be
Um,
done.
but also, I kind of I try not to live on it, but I essentially on Sundays live on my sleeper app. I love playing fantasy football. Again, it allows me to try and keep in tune with the players, what's going on, who's performing well, who's doing well. And again, it enhances my Sunday watching experience. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys do the same?
I like to put some quids down.
Well, I'm talking about fantasy football. Did you like playing fantasy football? It enhances your
Yeah, yeah, I
Sunday.
Oh
like
yeah,
playing.
love it, love it.
Well, for ages, I was wondering whether, like, what if I could do both of these things at the same time? And we kind of had DraftKings over here. It was okay. Then they left and left us yearning for something bigger and better. And then steps in Fantasy Game Day, the first and only NFL daily fantasy app made by UK fans for UK fans. They give you the opportunity to a budget, set a lineup, compete against other UK fans, content creators, and all that sort of stuff. You may even get to go against some of us. Obviously, Ollie doesn't play, so probably won't be Ollie. But I know Sam plays. I know Carl has a go. I have a go, and I'm almost certain that you guys like to have a tipple in there as well. Um, just a nice little way to potentially make a couple of quid whilst having a bit of fun playing fantasy football at the same time. And the guys over at Fantasy Game Day are so nice and so generous that when you sign up, if you haven't already, deposit and play for the first time, they will give you free plays worth up to £7.50 should you use our code when you sign up with an account. So as you get to the page, enter all your information and the promo code bit, put in HRDLE, that is HRDLE, hurdle without the U.
Because there's no huddle line without you.
There we go, finally. There we go. I was wondering if anyone would have done that. That wasn't practiced, by the way. That was all Tom, just off the dome. Yeah, they're that generous, they're that lovely that when you do that, they will give you £7.50 in free plays. They also give us a little bit of a kickback as well. So it helps support the podcast, helps us bring, and the AAW network bring you high quality content throughout the week. So, yeah, that's our friends over at Fantasy Game Day. If you want to do so, you can go to the description of this episode and find the link to the app, download it, sign up using our code, and come and compete against us. It's a lot of fun.
Do do you think the fantasy game day guys, do they eat on the pods too? Do they just start eating noodles like just I mean, because I we've done I don't know how many pods we've done over the last 2 years together, but so I mean,
Unprofessional.
like I have a little drink occasionally. I'll bring some wine or a little beer on. There might be some snacks. Never has someone just started eating spaghetti just full on or whatever that is.
Unprofessional.
Um,
Oh, it's noodles. It's ramen. That's right.
um,
Because Ali
uh,
does ramen.
excuse me, that is not ramen. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's just oh, okay. That's just noodles with no pasta
It,
sauce, no
it's no, it's
nothing.
my heated up spaghetti carbonara from the weekend.
Looked a bit pronounced.
Ah, I see.
Um,
Sorry,
unprofessional
How
at
is it,
eating
Ollie?
on
Is it
mute.
good? Tell us more
sorry,
about it.
guys. Look, I'm a busy man. I've had to quickly sneak this in. I didn't want to make it a big deal. I tried to do it sneakily. All right, and I
Ollie, you got to do what I do. You got to wait till the end of the podcast and then you eat it. That's what I'm doing. So,
What it's so
you'd
annoying
be cold
because
then.
it's it's so unprofessional to have a meal while on the podcast. I'm disgusted to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't do that. Um, Nobody go back and watch any other episode in the history because I'd start like tea gets prepared 5 minutes before I go on. But
Guys, I'm not gonna do this if you're listening right now. I could literally go through a whole thing about the diets of Ollie and Fletch that would just and somewhat Tom too, but we're not gonna because it's gonna be like Uncle Chapman corner and nobody wants that. But like maybe that's a pay if we ever get like a Patreon going, that'll
Uncle
be that. Just
Chapman's
me
corner. I
just
like that.
yeah, just me
Chapman's
just
there.
berating the diets of these three
He's
men.
just going, Ollie, you're eating carbs at 9:30. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
jeez. And Fletch is just literally injecting caffeine into his veins at like 10:30 at night. Anyway,
jet fuel,
guys, do I stay up for the game?
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Son of a
yes,
bitch. I've
yeah.
cussed a lot today, guys. I'm really
Right.
sorry to our audience.
All I'm gonna say is on Friday night, I stayed up until roughly 6 a.m. watching baseball go to a 15th inning.
Oh,
On Saturday night, I watched my college football team go all the way over to the West Coast and just get absolutely dog walked by USC. And then last night, stayed up until 4:30 in the morning to watch my team go. You can do it for one night to watch the Falcons.
There's just something about the number 15 with them Tigers, man.
Shh. Yeah, you've said that already this weekend, Ollie. You can do it for one night, Chapman.
Georgia beat Auburn last night on Saturday night. It was pretty
Oh,
fun.
I saw that.
I said,
Yeah.
Which is
I figured this out. Georgia is like the Bizarro Falcons, where they're terrible in the first half,
mm.
and then they're awesome in the second half and win games. Whereas the
Uh,
Falcons will be competent in the first half of a game, and then they suck in the second half and lose. So,
Georgia are the definition of the. We not gonna lie, we thought we had them in the first half meme. Like every week, I'm like, oh, Georgia are losing, and then you tune back in, and you're like, oh no, Georgia won.
yeah, it's Kirby Smart. I think
um,
he really has the best. I'd love to know what his halftime speeches are because I think they just all come out like
Yeah, yeah.
ready to run through daggone walls, Dan Campbell style.
and
What are
it was
we?
an inter-family rivalry as well, by the way, wasn't it, this week, Chapman? I'm
It
sure
is,
it's all
yeah.
kept above board, respectful
My
between.
nephew and my sister were at the game. My cousins were there. So I have my cousins, their daughter goes to Georgia. Their son is a freshman at Auburn. So
Ooh,
that's fun. So they were all there. Yeah, they were all there. So of course, this first thing Saturday morning before anybody was up on the family text was putting up Georgia memes before my nephew could do anything. So it was fun. So me and my brother always have the last laugh in this rivalry. So,
What are
all
we?
right.
What are we hurdling?
Oh, well, I've got it. Don't you worry.
Oh,
Don't you worry. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your your family members. Uh, please make sure you listen to the Thursday show. The week 7 preview will be coming with Sam, Fletch,
look out
Carl.
for that. Look
Carl, we
out for
got
the
Carl
picks.
back in the mix. We need to have Carl come on and do if the Patriots keep on this, we got to bring him and let him be arrogant on the line for a week and then, make me feel bad about myself. Anyway, Carl, we love you. You should definitely at least come do a segment. Anyway, listen to all the AAW, listen to College Pod, listen to the Fantasy Pod, listen to, just listen to all our pods, please. And thank you so much for subscribing. And please hurdle that carbonara.